3. Persia. In ancient Persian thoughts, the chaos-creation dialectic is also present, as it is in ancient India, but stated as a tension between darkness and light. The gods war against chaos or darkness in and from the heavenly realm, and the king wars on earth against darkness. Ahura Mazda is the great god, as the king of Iran is the great king. Ahura Mazda has created heaven, earth, and mankind. These, therefore, are his property, but he only reserves for himself the domination over heaven and earth. He has made the king of Iran his substitute and his only substitute. He, the king, holds for mankind Ahura Mazda's place. Plutarch gives confirmation of this position of the Persian monarch in a statement of Artabanus to Themistocles, a Greek, giving the condition of audience with the Persian monarch. In Plutarch's Life of Themistocles, we read, "Among our many excellent laws, we account this the most excellent, to honour the king and to worship him as the image of the great preserver of the universe. If then you shall consent to our laws and fall down before the king and worship him, you may both see him and speak to him. But if your mind be otherwise, you must make use of others to intercede for you, for it is not the national custom here for the king to give audience to any one that doth not fall down before him." In Plutarch's Life of Artaxerxes, we are told that this monarch regarded himself as divinely appointed for a law to the Persians and the supreme arbiter of good and evil. Unlike Babylon, where the law was subject to the king, in Medo-Persia, the king was subject to the law. The king could not alter or change his decree. His law bound not only his subjects, but also himself. Esther 1:19 and 8:8 record this power of the law, and Diodorus Siculus reported that Darius III found himself bound by the law, for, having sentenced Charidamos to death, he repented of it and felt that he had erred. But it was not possible to undo what was done by royal authority. This same inviolability of law is cited with respect to Darius the Mede in Daniel 6:8 and 9, 12, 14, 16 and 17. Some of the most important insights into the Persian concept of kingship are to be found in F.W. Buckler, although he tends to identify this concept as Oriental and Eastern. Its presence in European thoughts certainly is no less clear, although Christianity and Hellenic Renaissance and Enlightenment strands have introduced other concepts as well. Thus, an Act of Parliament under Queen Elizabeth of England spoke of royal absolutism in language that was not limited to the English scene, but was common to the doctrines of state elsewhere. It was asserted that the Queen inherited both an enlarging and restraining power. By her prerogative, she might set at liberty what was restrained by statute or otherwise, and by her prerogative, she might restrain what was otherwise at liberty. That the royal prerogative was not to be canvassed, nor disputed, nor examined, and did not even admit to any limitation that absolute princes, such as the sovereigns of England, were a species of divinity. That it was in vain to attempt tying the Queen's hands by laws or statutes, since, by means of her dispensing power, she could loosen herself at pleasure, and that even if a clause should be annexed to a statute, excluding her dispensing power, she could first dispense with that clause and then with the statute. This was more power than the Oriental Persian monarch could claim. John Dowland in 1600 wrote of Elizabeth, "When others sing Venite exultemus, stand by and turn to Noli emulari, for quare fremurunt, use oremus, vivat Elisa for an Ave Maria." Lord North wrote of Elizabeth to the Bishop of Ely, saying, "She is our God on earth. If there be perfection in flesh and blood, undoubtedly it is in Her Majesty." In different terminology, an even greater absolutism is now in process of being granted to the United Nations. Oriental monarchy is not alone in seeing the monarch or the state as God on earth. If the transcendental and discontinuous nature of the being of God be denied, then the gods, or powers of the cosmos are continuous with man and identifiable with him. To the extent that they are directly identified with man, to that extent the social order is absolute and a total power. In full-blown pantheism, the one and the many and every aspect of being are completely unified and totally identifiable one with another. The most minute particle, then, as fully incorporates being in itself as the greatest man or force. For being is one being and is totally and exhaustively present in all things. No social order is possible in terms of such a concept, although anarchism is an aspect of this faith.